Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic if you like the food. Today's topic is food and drinks from Mexico and Spain. And we are not alone. We have a special guest. His name is Arturo, and he's a student of the industrial engineering. How are you? Are you, Arturo? Ready to start?
Yes, of course, I'm ready. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Okay, to begin with, let's start a little bit about Spanish gastronomy. How is it?
Well, Spanish cuisine is very different depending on each region, you know? I mean, Spain is divided in different climatic and, of course, political regions. I'm from El País Vasco, more specifically Bilbao in Euskadi. And our food is heavily centered around seafood and salad.
Okay, that's that's so interesting. For the second question, what do you think is the typical weekend meal with friends in Spain?
Well, I don't recall a specific meal for weekends, but there's there's this tradition that in parties and weekend festivities, we tend to increase the amount of starters. Okay, like for example, we have this thing called croquetas, which are like small balls made of wheat, and they're stuffed with ham, cheese, or maybe vegetables. Also, we have, of course, chorizo and jamón serrano, which are, I will say, a pillar of Spanish food. And, well, above everything, there's bread, which every Spaniard would tell you it's the basis for every meal. So I would say there's not such thing as a regular weekend food, but the starters and extras we add really change, you know, depending.
Yes. Here in Mexico we have the tacos, for example. So my question it refers to what's the food for your choice in a weekend with your friends?
Oh, okay, like our comparison to tacos, right?
Yes.
Well, something very common in Spain are the tapas or pinchos, depends on the region, the name, which are like tacos, but instead of using tortillas, we use bread, small slices of bread. So I would say it's the same, but the difference is the tortilla is exchanged by bread. We have, there's a large variety. There are like chorizo pinchos or tortilla patatas with champiñones. We have also like sardinas with aceituna, claro. So I would say like this topic is similar in Mexico. The only difference again is the ingredients sometimes. I mean, Mexican tacos are more like focused on meat, you know, like
Yes.
cochinita, which is pork, or arrachera. In Spain, we have a little bit more of a variety in the stuffing. I mean, tortilla patatas is egg, potato, onions, and something else. So, I mean, pinchos would be a great answer for this question.
Uh, for the third, what do you think is dish that foreigners like the most?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat your question, please?
Yes. What do you think that is the dish that foreigners like the most? I mean, if you
Well,
live not in your home, or if you live alone, what do you think that is the dish the most?
okay. I would say like the the Spanish dish, which is the famous, would be bacalao a la vizcaína. It's a very simple dish prepared here in Euskadi, and I've been I've been seeing it a lot outside of Spain. You know, in a lot of restaurants in Mexico, in the United States, and even in France. So I would say that's the, the favorite dish or the most famous.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Well, the next question is your gastronomy is influenced by other countries, like for example, here Mexico, the food from Mexico is influenced by the food from America, and this is very common in Mexico. I don't know if happens some like this in Spain.
Well, the Spanish gastronomy is not that influenced from other countries. I mean, besides Mexico and the rest of Latin America, which were, colonies, the influence here is not too strong. I mean, of course, we have like fast food restaurants like Americans, McDonald's or Burger King, But in terms of gastronomy, of cuisine, no, Spanish food is not very influenced by other countries.
Okay, the next question is, what are the typical dish in Spain? For example, in Mexico, are the tacos, the sole, mole?
Well, it depends again on the region, but I would say the top one would be paella. There's 1,000 different ways in which you can prepare paella. Like, for example, my favorite one is paella negra, which uses squid and ink, That's why it's negra. It's black. So paella would be the top one dish in Spain.
Okay. Well, I would like to ask you a question a little more personal, and that's what is your favorite drink? Typical of Spain, and why this is your favorite drink? Like here in Mexico, the atole, for example, or something like that in Spain.
Well, in Spain, typical drink would be wine. Why? Because Spain is one of the top producers of wine. So that would be my favorite. Besides, I would say Fanta de Limón, which is a Fanta prepared with yellow lemons over there in Spain. It has a really different flavor from one you can find in Mexico or in the United States of America.
Yes, well, that's a good point, because here in Mexico the lemons are so small comparing with the yellow lemons that you say. So that's very interesting.
Yes, and not only the size. I mean, the green lemon, the Mexican lemon, it's I don't know, like really sour, and the yellow one is a lot more um, sugary, I would say.
Well, yes, I think so. It's more like the orange, no? It's more uh, like a good point, a good one to compare.
Yes, actually, you're really really correct here. Thank you.
Well, what happened when we are in a diet? What is the food that you usually uh, eat where you are in a diet? I say some food healthy or something like that. What is the food for a diet?
Well, almost all of the Spanish cuisine is actually really good in diet because Mediterranean food has a lot of natural elements, a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals, and it's really rich. We're talking about olive oil, garlic, different kinds of salad, a lot of fish like bacalao or maybe salmon. So mostly regular food. I mean, if you avoid bread, you avoid desserts, there would be no problem. You would be actually don't need it to have a diet. No, not needing to have a diet. Yeah.
Yeah, your food is not like the Mexico that the Mexican food is full of fat. That's good.
Yeah, that's a big difference between Mexican and Spanish food.
Okay, the next question is how can you describe what is a carne asada with friends?
Okay, that's a funny question. I would say a carne asada is it's not a party, it's smaller, but it's a reunion where friends can come together, have a good time, talk, play some table games, maybe watch some sports, and it's really common in Mexico, in Nuevo León. Actually, it's like the basis of relationships. Also, I would say like carne asada is really easy to prepare. I mean, I've been in a lot of them, and there's no real challenge. So it's easy to prepare. The food's really good. You get along with your friends. So I would say it's an excellent time, an excellent event, of course.
Right. Do you think that what is better in Spain or Mexico, the carne asada?
Well, we don't have carne asada in Spain. I mean, I've been in carne asadas, but in Mexico. In Spain, there's no such thing as that.
It's not have a name for that, like I don't know, reunión. I don't know.
Well, of course we have reunions and we prepare food, yeah. But having a name for it, I don't think so, or I don't know. But I think there's no name. Maybe it could be quedada, or perhaps well, there's a thing named botellón. It has nothing to do with food, but it's a group of guys, a group of friends. Mostly they're minors, so it's gonna be illegal. But they buy a lot of Coke, a lot of sodas, and cheap wine. Like there's a I don't know, cardboard box wine used for cooking, and they drink it on someone's place.
All right, that's interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, what is the weekend meal in your country?
Well, again, there's no such thing as a weekend meal, but we tend to increase the amount of starters or the dishes we're gonna have. For example, instead of only eating a salad and a steak, we could eat some shrimps at the beginning. Then we're gonna have a salad or a soup. Then tuna or ribs. There's no such thing as a weekend food, but there are a variety of things that you could add to every dinner or every food.
Okay, well, I think that question I make it.
Yes. You actually did. It
Yes.
has already been done.
Well, sorry, but my next question is: in the cold season, what is the typical food?
Well, in the region that I come from, Euskadi, el País Vasco, it's always cold. It's always rainy. There's no really a summer, so
Okay.
food doesn't change a lot. In Christmas and New Year, we have difference, but mostly it's all the same across the year.
Okay. Well, and for drink, do you take something like hot chocolate or something like that in the cold? Well, all the time is cold, but I think if you take
I get it. Well, over there, chocolate milk is always drink hot. Actually, you can't prepare it cold because the chocolate doesn't dissolve on the milk, and you get this strange amalgamation of horrible things. But yeah, we have hot chocolate. It's named Colacao. And what else we drink? Wine every time, every day. Old people, for example, tend to make these groups, and they move from a bar to another, drinking and singing and doing this kind of crazy stuff. They're named chiquiteros. That's something common, and it happens a lot.
And now that we're talking about Christmas and New Year's, what do you cook for Christmas dinner, or what do you eat in Christmas?
Well, the meal consists in shrimp as a starter, accompanied with jamón serrano, chorizo, maybe sardinas, incluso gulas. I would say gulas también. And then this is followed by some kind of salad. It always is mixed salad or Caesar salad. After that, we're having a soup. It can be fish soup or bread soup. And at the end, we're having tuna or steak or ribs or something like that. In Spain, it's typically common that in Christmas and New Year's Eve, we have shrimp. Everyone buys some, so there's no the capacity, the production capacity, I would say, or the selling capacity in supermarkets is never enough, and there's always like a shortage of shrimp. You know, that would be the things with a Christmas and New Year.
And what about the drinks?
Well, for drinks,
I refer that you
Sure.
drink something with alcohol, or I don't know, something like tea, coffee, and something like that drinks, or what kind of drinks you drink?
well, of course, we have a variety. There's alcohol ones and no alcohol. We have wine. I mean, in Spain, there's always wine in the table. Such as bread, there's always wine. And for children, they could have some soda, or there's this like a sparkling water named gaseosa, which has like a little bit of sugar, make it taste better. And water and plain regular water. At the end, in the desserts, there can be coffee. Yes, it tends to be American coffee or espresso.
Okay, what is the main characteristic of Spanish food? For example, in Mexico, it's very spicy.
Well, the main characteristics of Spanish food could be that it's very traditional. I mean, even in a restaurant, everything is gonna have like this, you know, like you're eating from mama's food. Also, Spanish food has a lot of olive oil. We use it for everything. And something else would be salad. There's a lot of salad, and it's always dressed with the same: vinegar, olive oil, pepper, and salt. That would be like some of the Spanish main, I don't know, considerations.
Yes, I it's a little different from the food in Mexico.
Yes, a lot indeed.
Right, for the next question, what do you think that is the main characteristic of Spanish food for you?
For me, it would be, again, olive oil. It's not Asian. Everything has olive oil. So that would be my main characteristics. Sorry, it's just one.
Okay. Well, for the next question, well, before to start with the next question, I want to say something. It's interesting. Something you mentioned that I find funny is that in Spain always use a lot of salads for the food, and a lot of people from Spain and other countries tell us at the Mexicans the food here in Mexico never have a salad or something like that. But it's funny because in the sauce, en la salsa de aquí de México, is all the all the ingredients you can have in a salad. So that's very interesting. And well, for the next question is, um, what are their typical drinks in Spain? Um, sí, ¿cómo se decía? Sin contar el vino.
Without wine, well, I don't know if this one's gonna count because it's sidra, which is wine with sparkling water. But if not, well, sodas such as Fanta, Coke, something like that. There's not a lot of sodas in Spain. A lot of variety, I mean. What else? Regular water, sparkling water. There's a wine which has no alcohol for children. It's called mosto, and it's made up of manzana and apple. So that would be also a common drink over there. There's not like this huge variety, or at least I don't know of this huge variety like in Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico is a particular case, and I want to ask you what special ingredients do they use in Spanish food? Maybe that you think that they are essential for a food. For example, in the case of Mexico use a lot of chili and corn in this food. I think that the base of the Mexican food is the corn. But what about Spain? What are the most important ingredients for the Spain food?
Well, the most common ingredients are garlic, pepper, salt, different kind of herbs, azafran, which is this small yellow plant. Well, it's not yellow, it's like orange or red. We use it for coloring. That's what gives the paella its yellow and bright color. It's azafran. Also, we have guindillas. Guindillas is a type of pepper, which is actually spicy, like Mexican chili. Well, not that much, but it's spicy. So it would be like our substitute to Mexican chili. And I think that's like a small list of the main ingredients we use. Garlic, yeah, pepper, salt, herbs, it's everyone. Azafran for coloring and a little bit of taste. We have pimentón dulce, which is a red sweet pepper. And that's about everyone. Yeah, that's all of them.
Now let's start to talk about the difference and similarities between Spanish and Mexican food. We know that in Spain there are a tortilla, that is a Spanish tortilla, but no is similar to the Mexican tortilla. This is a particular case that have a common name, but is so different. The ingredients and the way to prepare this tortilla.
Yes, you're talking about tortilla española or tortilla de patatas, which is basically egg with potato, some onions, and mushrooms. It has nothing to do with Mexican tortillas. Actually, the name of tortillas, of Mexican tortillas, is talos. So, if you're in Spain and you're looking for tortillas, you can ask for talos, and they're gonna give you Mexican tortillas. well, the closest thing to Mexican tortillas.
And do you know another dish that is similar to Mexico?
Well, I don't really know a lot of dishes that are similar from Spain and Mexico. I know that Spanish food has been, well, as all European food actually has a influence from Mexican and Latin American food. Well, of course, we're talking about potatoes, tomato, chocolate, and chili, but and turkey. Good about it, turkey. But I don't really know a lot of Spanish and Mexican dishes that are the same. I really don't know.
Well, going back to the previous question a bit, I want to mention something. I have seen lately that in Spain they have a great debate about whether the potato tortilla, bueno, la tortilla española,
Tortilla de patatas, or yeah.
Yes, has to have onion or not. As do you prefer it?
That's a real debate, actually. I prefer it without onion, but my father likes it with onion, so there's this small fight, I would say, in our house for how to prepare it and how to eat it. And at the end, we tend to just prepare two of them, one with onions, one without onions, and you can grab from both of them with no problem.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's a very interesting point about the tortilla de patatas.
No problem. Thanks to you.
Do you consider that there was a gastronomy crossover between Spain and Mexico in the conquest?
Yes, there was a crossover between Spain and Mexico. Well, what is known today is Spain, because at that time it wasn't Spain, it was the Kingdom of Castilla and Aragon. But yes, there was an interchange between cultures and gastronomy in this topic. I mean, Mexicans didn't have pork. There was no pork here, and Spain brought it. Now, pork is the basis of the Yucatan food. So the same as tomatoes and potatoes, Spanish people, we use them for everything. So indeed, there was an exchange.
And for example, in Spain, there are restaurants, Mexican restaurants, or do you know something like restaurants that have dishes from Mexico? For example, here in Mexico is not common see Spanish restaurants. But what about in Spain?
Yes, we have a lot of Mexican restaurants. For example, in Bilbao, there are I would say around 10, maybe 12. They're getting famous. Not famous, but everyone is eating Mexican food or Mexican above all, because it's something new, There weren't a lot of them back in the day, a few years ago, and now there's this big explosion, this boom of Mexican restaurants in almost all Europe, actually, not only in Spain.
Okay. The question is: are there any Spanish dishes or drinks that you have in common with Mexico? For example, tortilla española.
Um, I didn't understand the thing about the tortilla, but the drinks we have sidra is the same in Spain as in Mexico. Wines, well, it's wine at the end of the day. Um, rompope, I know rompope is a common drink in Mexico, but it was originated in Spain. And this is not a drink; it's food, but the rosca de reyes was also, let's say, imported from Spain, Mexico.
Well, um, you currently live here in Mexico, right?
Yes, I currently live in Mexico, in Querétaro.
Okay, excellent. What would you say is your favorite Mexican food?
Well, since I've lived in Cancun, and I was more in touch with the food from Yucatan, I would say cochinita pibil, tacos of cochinita pibil.
Okay, that's a good one.
Indeed,
And
it is.
yes, of course. About the drinks, do you like the tequila or the mezcal? Do you taste it? Do you taste it? Sorry.
No problem. I'm not a lot into mezcal, but I love tequila. Actually, it's my favorite drink. Every party I go, I'm taking a tequila bottle with me. So yeah, I like it a lot.
Yes, excellent choice.
I want another question. And when you go to a party in Spain, what are the drinks that you drink with alcohol?
Well,
Is
sorry.
common drink? No, I don't know. Tequila, vodka, beer. What drink do you drink?
Well, it's really common to have vodka, tequila, whiskey, scotch, um, ginebra, and wine. Tequila, you don't see it a lot because for most Spaniards, it's too strong. I mean, at the beginning, after that, you get used to it and you start liking it. But in Spain, there's like the common variety.
Well, I have another question for you. Do you taste the pozole, and what do you think about this?
Yeah, I know pozole and I really like it. I tend to think of mole when someone says pozole. I don't know why, and I don't like mole. But if we just talk about pozole, I think it's really good. And thanks for Mexico for making it.
Yes, it's nothing. Do you know the story behind the pozole? The historical origin from the pozole?
No, I don't know the origin.
Well, the ancest cultures here in Mexico use the pozole like, prepare the pozole with human meal, and that's so interesting because they use the pozole like sacrificio para los dioses, and that's a very interesting point about the Mexican food. The cultural history is so big here in Mexico. So what do you think about this?
I think I'm not going to eat pozole anymore.
And that's
No more
not the
pozole.
intention.
I didn't knew about the story. I mean, it sounds logical, but I didn't knew about it.
Well, if you want to eat pozole again, it's your choice, but that's not the intention. So yes, that's a good point.
Sure it is.
And for example, you are from Spain, but do you like the food from Spain, or you prefer the Mexican food, or another food from another country? In my case, I love the Mexican food, but too I love the Japanese food. In your case, what is your favorite food from another country?
Well, I do love Mexican food and Spanish food because they're really different. I wouldn't compare them because, again, Mexican food is all about corn, beans, meat, and Spanish food is real different. It's a lot more about fish and salad and all of this. So I love them both. Of course, I also like a lot of Japanese food, Italian food, American because it's super common. But yeah, my favorite dishes would be from Mexico and from Spain.
Yeah, well, I think that's all our questions, and I want to tell you thank you for all your time and answer our questions. So, Erik, do you want to say something?
Yes. Well, I think that this was a very interesting talk. I hope that you and everybody learned a lot from this talk. I want to thank Arturo for being here with us. We really enjoyed your participation in this podcast. And I don't know if you want to say something to finish.
Sure. Thank you very much for having me. Thanks for the new information, for letting me talk a little bit about not only my food, but my culture again. So thanks, and I hope to see it someday.
Well, no, on the contrary, thank you very much for all your time. Well, that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arturo.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
You too. Thanks. Bye.